everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Hello, everyone. This is our first show for 2023. The first show. And we have a wonderful guest. So let me do the housekeeping because I do not want my assistant and my team get on me. So we want to make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe. And again, if you want to be part of our tribe, you must subscribe. I'm so proud when I say that all the time because I made that up myself. I'm about to be a poet and don't know it. Okay, y'all in tune in for all of that extraness. So let me bring it down. So again, we want you to subscribe to our channel. Please share the channel. Sharing is caring. Now, without further ado, we want to introduce a phenomenal lady. We have Miss Felicia Jackson. She's the inventor and owner of CPR Rap LLC. CPR Rap makes it possible for those individuals to effectively perform CPR at a moment's notice. So I want you to stay tuned to find out why Felicia decided to do this, where she's going with this. But let me tell y'all something. This show, this platform is right on time because I'm pretty sure everyone who's watching this, who's viewing this, whether it's the replay or now, this is such a coincidence because we have a player in Atlanta who has gone through something. So we're going to talk about that as well. So without further ado, we have the one and only entrepreneur, fabulousness. She's an inventor. She does a lot. Let me take a sip because when I tell you, this lady has a lot. Her resume is long and strong. I can't say everything because I'm going to be out of breath. So without further ado, the Women Are Worthy Network, we're proud to have Miss Felicia Jackson. Hello, Miss Jackson.
Hello. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Look, I'm telling you, when I say when God is in it, God is in it. Okay. So we want to thank you for coming on the show. And we want to talk about CPR Rap. We want to know, how did you share your journey with us? Like, how did this come about?
Right. So please believe when I tell you, becoming an entrepreneur was not on my radar at all. I was a 30-year-old mother of three, married woman, just graduated college, working, as a physical therapist assistant. And, I thought I was going to die a physical therapist. That's what I wanted to do. That was my journey. But life has a crazy way of redirecting your journey, the way it should be and not always the way that you want it to be. And that was my story, my journey. My child, I have three children, two girls and a boy, and they were younger. This was back in 2002. And I call myself the helicopter mom. Not only do I love to take care of people, I love my children dearly. And I'm always checking on them. They're in their 20s right now, and I still do it today. But this particular day, we're driving out on the road, my family and I look in the back to check on my child. 2 years old at the time. And I noticed that he was in distress, like he was trying to cry, but nothing was coming out. And I knew he was choking. So I screamed to my husband to pull over to the side of the road. And we both jump out of the car. He gets the baby out of the car seat, hands him directly to me because I'm CPR trained and certified. I'm a BLS trained. I know how to do the Heimlich. But when he gave my baby to me, I completely forgot everything I was taught. It was like I was just standing there in shock. He saw that I was not doing anything, took our baby from my hands and saved his life. And that threw me in a depression. It was like if my husband wasn't there, I could have lost my baby. How could I? I started faulting myself. But then I quickly, I snapped out of whatever I was going through. And I said, hey, I got to do something about this. It's not a matter if it'll happen again. It's when it'll happen. So I came up with CPR Wrap. It actually came to me in a dream. That's a whole nother story in its own. I'm a serial inventor, but I'm a procrastinator too. So I never followed through with anything. But this time I did. And I'm so happy I did. So that's how it came about.
Well, here's the thing. And let me rewind. For those of you who don't know BLS, that's basic life support, so you can understand. So, when she says some things, we'll definitely the definition of what it means. So, what people don't understand, but we do. You're trained in something. You could be a firefighter, especially when it comes to trauma. But then when it happens, that's like, okay, you're trained, you have a gun and you're trained to use it. But until something happens, you'll freeze. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, you have the survivor's remorse or the guilt remorse, like, why didn't I do this? So what made you so okay, so basically you were CPR trained. Thank God your husband was there with you.
Right.
What, how did this, oh, you said it's a dream. Girl, let me tell you something. This is your show. So, how did this, before we talk about the dream, when you created this, what step, because sometimes we come up with things, whether we're going to create it, we're going to do it, we're going to step forward. What made you get off that fence that you were sitting on to say, you know what, I got to do this, because if it happened to me, it's going to happen to someone else? What was that driving factor that made you say, I'm going to do this?
Right, right. Well, a few months after that happened, my niece, I lost a niece. She passed away when she was 16 years old, and she required CPR and got it when the paramedics came, but she was without oxygen for too long, and she became brain dead, and we lost her. And that sent that, I mean, it was like, no, I went from having my son saved from a traumatic event to losing my niece, who was like a daughter to me. And so I was sleeping, eating, and living, trying to figure out what was I going to do to help other people. Not just because I'm medical and I'm trained, right? My thought process was, what about the people that are not trained, the non-medical community that don't have a clue, that the EMS and paramedics were telling me this is what we want people to do before we get there. We want them to initiate CPR, because there's no telling when we're going to get there. It may be 7, maybe 20 minutes out. When you need to be starting CPR within 2 minutes of finding someone unconscious. So that incident with her really got me going. And I quit my job just so I can work on this full time. Yeah.
I'm proud for you. I'm proud that you're doing this. So, first of all, let me give you your flowers, because I'm an entrepreneur and people don't understand. It's one of the hardest things to do, especially if you don't have, I don't care how much money you have saved, if you don't have like a financial backer or someone who's investing in you to do this. It's one of the hardest things, because you then have to balance your regular life, your home life, your entrepreneur life. And when you're an entrepreneur, you're doing everything in the beginning by yourself. Everything, you make the changes, the choices, and things like that. So let me give you your flowers for thank you for listening to that little voice and being an entrepreneur, and the fact that you created this. Because you know this is what I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it there, and people can email me all they want. It's okay. I think it's a crime that parents are leaving the hospital and not being CPR trained. If you're asking for, okay, because what doesn't make sense to me is when a child is being discharged from a hospital, they got to have a car seat. What good is a car seat, God forbid, if you drive 3 feet away and the child is choking or whatever the case may be? So while the mother is in the hospital, let me tone it down a little bit, because two things I have issues with. All children should learn how to swim, and parents should be CPR certified. So let me not, that's a whole nother show. So it should be mandatory. The court, there's so much funding going on. We should find everybody who's CPR certified to teach people when you're leaving your hospital, because it's so easy for a baby to choke, right? So I think it's a crime. Yeah, I said it. That parents are leaving the hospital and not having that. And then parents, I'm holding y'all accountable, that y'all leaving the hospital. So the parents, the grandpa, grandma, the mimas, the grandmas, the aunties who are taking care of their children, you can't always depend on 911. And here's the reason why I'm saying this. And I'm sorry to take up your time, but again, it's your show. But I got to say this. I got to get this off my chest, Miss Jackson, that we can't always depend on 911, because There's so many emergencies that's going on right now. What happens if there's a blizzard and they can't make it to you? Just picking up the phone and watching a child choke or an adult choke is not good enough. You now need to be held accountable and you have to get the training. So, what I want to leave you with watching this show, make sure you get certified. Reach out to Miss Jackson. She's going to give her information. We're going to continue with her story, but I'm going to say this: shame on you. Okay, I'm gonna say shame on you for not being CPR, elite trained, knowing how to do CPR. And because of this, way before this, I went to my ladies that I walk with and I said, we all need to be, mine has expired, but we need to be CPR certified, or at least trained. So back to you, Miss Jackson. So you said your niece died. You passed, condolences on that. What made you say, I need to create this product? I'm interested in that.
Right. So I keep a now I'm more tech savvy, but before I invented this, I used to keep a book by my bed. So if I ever think of anything, I trace that book down. But this particular time, I had a dream. And in that dream, I actually saw a person on the ground by a car. Everybody was around them, and somebody was administering CPR to this person. And I saw like a template that was right on top of and I saw it just as plain as day. And I woke up, remembered, and sometimes I never remember my dreams, but I remembered exactly what it looked like. I remember the designs and everything. Traced what I remembered. Procrastination kicked in. I sat on it for another 5 years. But in time is everything. I always say things happen not always when you want it to, but when it needs to happen. So it wasn't time for me to initiate that right then. But when I did, I could not stop thinking about it. And I finally did. I got that book and I went to work. And the first thing I wanted to do, I knew I had to protect my intellectual property. And
Copyright, patent.
exactly. And I didn't have the money, to pay a lawyer. I didn't have that. And it's like you were saying, you sometimes you need capital. It takes money to make money a lot of times. And a lot of us don't have a lot of money. And I drained my 401k, what little I had in there. And, I just did that whole process by myself. I Googled everything. I watched tons of videos, and we were awarded the patent in 2019 after 3 years.
Let me ask you a question. So, what can we do? Because we're going to go back and forth, you telling your story and how can we help? How can we help you? Because this, I know it's in Walmart, right? But we need this to be, because here again, we had a football player, because of him being hit, suffered cardiac issues, right? Now, and I don't want to be presumptuous to say his mother and dad probably didn't know CPR or whatever, but from what I'm hearing, it took a minute before they actually administered CPR, because you also have the defibrillator. But I think you were going to say something. Go ahead, Miss
Right.
Jackson.
Because of the injury he had, it was the impact injury right to the heart. It's kind of a freak accident, if you will.
Yeah.
If you do not administer CPR immediately, you have a less than 50% chance of survival. And so by him being in the NFL and him being where he was, they did perform CPR and shock him with a defibrillator. He's around, he's talking now, he's okay now from the updates that we're seeing. But the survival rate for something like that is very, very low. But because he did get immediate CPR intervention, he survived.
And we have to think about things like that, because you could be driving a car and get hit and the steering wheel hits you. When you think about, this is why I'm telling people life is so short and precious. Whatever it is that you want to do, if you're in a bad marriage, get out of it. Get out of toxic relationships and start living your dreams, start living your life. The worst thing that can happen, there's no such thing as failure, right? At least you tried it, and you probably may need to tweak things. That's why it's so important to me for women to help empower each other. Because I have a patience of a gnat right now because I said 2023 is going to be a whole lot different. Okay. I think I was whispering in 2022. 2023 people are going to get sick and tired of seeing me on this because I'm giving information. So now, especially in the Black community, we can't say we didn't know, we didn't hear, because that's the first thing we love to say. No, I'm giving the information. What can we do to support your efforts to take this where everybody's talking about it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What can we do?
Right. Well, first of all, word of mouth is key. I always tell people, yes, you buy them for your home, for your family. You want to be proactive, but let's take it a step further. We need to get these in the hospital to give to new mothers before they discharge hospital, just like they give them little take-home bags, the milk, formula, and all that. Give them an infant CPR wrap.
What state are you in?
Tennessee.
Okay. Okay. All right. So hit me up tomorrow because we need to talk about when you said hospitals. Okay.
Right, right. And I've worked with some of them, and not just new mothers, cardiac rehab, patients that are being discharged prior because of heart surgery or any type of cardiac issues. They normally teach the caregivers CPR before the patient discharge. Not all, but most. And I partner with some hospitals to give them a CPR wrap to take home so they'll have it with them. Because the retention rate, just like anything, if you don't do something on a regular basis, you're going to lose it. You're not going to remember the depth, how many inches you're supposed to press down from adult, child, and infant.
Look, preach it, because I've lost mine because, like I said, I was certified and expired, but I haven't used it, so I need a refresher course. So go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Exactly. And it's so many things, it's different. And those little different technicalities, they matter, especially when it's life or death. Truckers, to be in every truck, retail. There's so many places. I always say wherever there's a human, there should be a AED, yes, which is an automated external defibrillator. That's what shocks the heart back into rhythm. And the tools, in our communities, the low income and Black communities, do you know they're 40% less likely to get bystander intervention?
Yes.
40% less likely.
Yes.
No longer should we say we don't have the tools to provide. They don't have the training, in these communities. I don't want to hear that. We can change that. We can change that dynamic. Women, we're less likely to get CPR because of our breast. Men are afraid of, they're going to get sued.
Or people think that you're going to crack a rib. That's another thing. So what we're going to do is, and I'm saying it now on 1/5/2023, we're going to collaborate. I'm going to see what we can do to get everyone that I talk to. I'm going to talk about your product. So we're going to talk tomorrow. Give me a buzz tomorrow in the evening and let's talk about this, because this is so critical and so personal to me, because when I was certified, and I remember something happened, and this young lady and she didn't know what to do. She was wigging out. And not disrespectfully, it's just like she was in shock. She didn't want to take the class, which she didn't. And she didn't know what to do. So I had to help administer CPR. And people, like you said, it's different when you're doing with a baby and an adult. It's totally different. So so you patent this. Yes. Where are you right now in this scheme of CPR Wrap?
Well, right now I'm broke. I'm depressed. I quit my job. I'm doing this full time. And I don't know where to go. We have a lot of entrepreneurial resources within the city and state that I live, and it helps you build the foundation of entrepreneurship. I don't have a business degree. No one in my family ever owned a business. So I was starting at the very bottom. I had an amazing product that I knew once I got it going, I knew it was going to go somewhere. But that's not enough. You have to know, if you're the driver of this ship, you need to know your stuff, and I needed to get that information. And so I took a few years to learn a lot of things that I did not know about. Through a lot of incubators, accelerators, eventually I went through Techstars, moved to Texas for a few months to learn. I was absorbing things like a sponge.
Yes.
But prior to Techstars, I was I was scared, because I drained my 401k. We were getting ready to lose our home, and we had lost a car, and I was faulting myself. And it's like, man, I have to get this product out. But at the end of the day, I still have a family that I have to help take care of.
Yes, yes. And it's almost sometimes too, you're like, do you want to go back to corporate America? Well, again, it's 2023. I'm not saying I'm a savior now, but I know a whole lot of people. And I am going to, we're going to talk tomorrow. And it's on video. This is better than writing. This is on video. We're going to collaborate. We're going to get your stuff out. We're going to help you to get it out to the masses, because this is tangible. This is saving human beings, right? This should be in every daycare center. We are going to talk. We're going to brainstorm. I just need to let this percolate and figure out who are the right people, because I do know people in hospitals and blah blah blah, mayors and stuff, blah blah blah. We're going to get that. We're going to collaborate once a week. You and I are going to collaborate. We're going to target some people. I'll make some phone calls, but let's just put that to the side, because that's stuff we could talk after. I'm so freaking excited right now. So, and I'm not going to try to collaborate a whole bunch of people. I'm going to. So now that you have that out there, let's talk about, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, my sister. It's easy when you work for a 9 to 5. And I tell people, when you become an entrepreneur, you so appreciate 9 to 5s, because, and what I say that is, you're working into an organization that's already established. All you have to do is just follow things. So I tell people who work a 9 to 5, shut up and stop complaining, right? And I say that respectfully, because they already have it and all you got to do is work. Now, what happens with the employees, that's a totally different story. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have to figure things out. Even if you have mentors or whatever, you have to figure it out, right? I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I get it. But talk about the stuff that's not sexy that people don't see. Let's talk about that.
Right, right. So, I live in a city where I'll take it back to investment. I did not have that, didn't have it at all. And the only money that they were trying to give were to people that looked like them, didn't look like me, or it was logistics or tech. My product is far from tech. It's as simple as you can possibly get anything to be. And a lot of people didn't understand it, and they didn't want to put money behind it. And if they did, the terms were so outrageous, I would have no longer owned my company. And I was almost at risk for losing my company at one time, because I needed the capital and I trusted this person. And there's a lot of vicious people out there that are not for you. There's some that are great, but some of them don't come in at the early stage of where I was at the time. And thank goodness I got out of it, and that was all due to me being determined, me not saying, I'm going to give up. I couldn't. There's no way, because this company is more than just, yeah, I started it. Yes, I invented it, but this goes beyond me, and my hope is it's going to go way beyond me when I've left this plane. And so I knew I wanted to build this company into something that's going to be self-sustainable, growing, and life-saving. And so that's, making the right connections, getting the people that are Team Felicia, Team CPR Rap. That took some years. I had to kiss a few frogs, but believe me, you got me once, you won't get me again.
And see, what people don't understand, no, well, they do, but you can't do, when someone has good intentions and you try to take advantage of them. Because what I've noticed, being a female, see, I have masculine energy, a lot of masculine energy, right? And I say that to say, when you're a female entrepreneur, there's a lot of wolves out there that come in sheep's clothing and either want to take your business, as you said, the terms are ridiculous where it's not even your business. It's like they want you to work for them. When you invented it, you created it, your blood, sweat, and tears, you sacrificed for it. So, and for me, I can only speak for me, and you can agree or not. My Women Are Worthy, because my company is called Women Are Worthy. The platform is the Women Are Worthy Network. Women Are Worthy is like my baby. It's like I gave birth to it, and it was in a dream. God gave me the name. So people don't understand where, okay, you can go to work, run out, do what you need to do, but sometimes my brain is still going 24/7s, right? And you have to know when to shut it down. You have to know, okay, I need self-care, I need to do this, that can wait till tomorrow. But you want to do everything. And if you don't have the right team, you end up doing everything for yourself, and you don't want to dig an early grave. You don't want the high blood pressure, diabetes, and all that kind of stuff, because you're putting everything into your dream. Because Women Are Worthy is my baby. So I understand from entrepreneur to entrepreneur. But when I tell you I could smell them coming, I could smell them coming. Because before I would let them talk, there's talk.
Yeah.
And then just humor them. Now I just be like, get behind these Satan. I don't have time. Time is too short right now. So that's why I say you have to create your tribe. And that's what we have done, created our tribe of people who are like-minded. I have friends who are 9 to 5ers, and that's great. But majority of my friends are entrepreneurs, right? Because I can talk to a 9 to 5er, but they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's fine, because I want to have a diverse group of people who I'm working with, and kinship and friendship. So I'm glad that you invented this. So you're married, you have children. When are you turning off that switch? Like, nope, family time. When you doing that? Are you doing it anyway?
Right. I had to learn the hard way. I'm gradually doing it. I am not a I'm not a pro at it by any means. By any means. It was it's crazy. Excuse me. It was just one time where I was supposed to go talk about the product, and I mean, I didn't sleep. I wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm working, and then by the time I'm ready to go to bed, it's the next day. And I was supposed to go speak. And I remember my daughter. I hired my daughter. She actually works for me, and she was taking me to this event. And she noticed that I was sweating profusely. I wasn't looking like myself. And she noticed my lip was curling up on the side. And she said, "Mom, are you okay?" And I said, "I think you have a little chest pain. I feel kind of weird, but I'm okay. I need to get there because we're going to be late." She said, "Nope." She turned that car around, took me to the emergency room. My blood pressure was 200/100 and something. They had to give me, I forgot the name of the little pill, to put it under my tongue.
Nitroglycerin.
Nitroglycerin.
Nitroglycerin. Mhm.
Yes, to get my blood pressure down. They said I was getting ready to have a stroke. But in my mind, I wasn't processing that. I'm thinking I have an obligation because I told these people I was going to be there. They're expecting me, and I wasn't thinking about my health, and it was like, man, I mean, when did it get to that? When did it get to this level? I love this company, and I love the potential of what it's capable of doing, what it's going to do.
Mhm.
But I can't help it grow if I'm not here, you know?
Well, Felicia, here's what you have to learn. You have to learn no. You have to learn self-care, because here's the thing, you just said it, and you bringing tears to my eyes, because I understand what you're saying. You have to be able to give time to yourself, even if it's just taking power naps. You know what I'm saying? Because I have clients and stuff. You have to be able to do power naps. You have to be, because like sometimes, like I tell you, I wake up in the morning and I walk with my friends, and I call them my sisters. And I'm not retired. I'm still working. And I don't think I'll ever retire, because I love doing what I'm doing. And I'm going to be traveling and doing other stuff. I love it. Of course, you want the company to do other things. But for me, I just love doing this, the talking, the interviewing people like an Oprah, just interviewing. But you have to know when to turn it down and turn it off. Because being a type A person, I can go and go and go and go, and then I'll hit a brick wall. So what I've learned is, I give myself hours. Like, okay, I did this for 9 hours or 6 hours. That's it. So for me, I like getting massages. I like going by the lake, eating my lunch or breakfast or dinner by the lake, because the lake soothes me. I do meditation now. I do online meditation, yoga. I'm into all of that. I'm into, listening to, I have a therapist, because sometimes you need someone who's not involved with you. So I'm all for therapy. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I live my life now. I'm all about being positive and having positive people around me. I no longer deal with any negativity. It's a no for me. So, and having people around you is very helpful. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have someone who's holding you accountable. Like, wait a minute, what'd you do this week? What time did you eat? Because one of the companies when I was working for corporate America, they started, other than silicone, started the work from home. And it's like I would get up, go in front of the computer, and this was years ago, like early 90s. I would get in front of the computer from home, and I'm gonna say this. I'm very transparent, so let me be transparent. So Georgia was my entire territory. I had Georgia and Central Alabama. So I remember one day I woke up because sometimes I would have they tricked out my home office, tricked it out. So I had a fax machine, and I was working with doctors. The fax machine would go off all hours of the night, and I would get out of my bedroom and just read the fax and things like send out emails where my boss would say, Jackie, you send out emails at 3 o'clock in the morning, you need to get some sleep. And I'm like, and I didn't realize that's what they were doing. So anyway, I remember one morning I woke up, I'm in front of my computer, and I'm talking to the person, like if I'm on vacation, the person was in Ohio, so he would do my stuff for me when I'm on vacation. So I'm talking to Rick, I'll never forget it, Rick Cummings. So I'm talking to him and I'm like, what in the heck is that smell? I'm like, oh my God, what is that smell? Girl, how about I was working for 4 hours and I didn't brush my teeth? Look, when I say I'm gonna keep it transparent, I have no problem. So I woke up because it was a fax machine, and then the phone was ringing, and I had someone in Alabama. So Alabama is behind us. So when my fax machine, I sat down, got up from the bedroom, sat down, looking at the fax, working. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm calling Rick, and I'm talking to him, and I think I had the headset. And I'm like, oh my God. Rick's like, what's the matter? I said, what is that smell? I'm like, what's going on in my office? And I'm like, this is back in the day where they gave you a Staples magazine. You could order everything. When I said I had a bad, oh my God, my office was tricked out like you were working in an office.
Wow.
And I got the heavy materials. And then when you left, they're like, we're not going to pay for anybody to come pick that up. You might as well keep everything. That's what they did back then, right? And I'm like, Rick's like, did something die? I said, I don't know, Rick. I said, oh my God. He's like, what? I said, it's my breath. Rick's like, Jackie, did you just say this? Say that? I said, yes. I said, look, I'll call you back because I'm going to have to do something because I
That's
can't be
right.
sitting here seven. Yes, because you forget with time. You forget. Some of my coworkers would tell me they would get up and sit down in the leather chair, and that was a whole nother story. And I'm like, but you can get lost in what you're doing because not only when you're an entrepreneur, you're researching, you're networking, because people are like, oh, I got to network. Yeah, but when you're networking, you still got to go back to call the people to have a meeting with them if you don't have the right team, because you don't want to and you have to know when to hire the team and the right team, because you don't want to get someone right away and you're paying them and nothing's really happening or money's coming in. So it's hard. That's why it's good to find females, or not females, people who understand your vision and can direct you to where the money is. You know what I'm saying? Because I said when I started, I mean, I'm a people person anyway, and I'm a connector. But I've had great mentors and people, so I've learned that I need to just have people around me, because there's some days you're like, I don't know if I can do this thing. I don't know if I can do this. I'm tired. I want to go back to. And I've had people call me to come back to corporate America. And I had left this at one point, and I'm telling you, my followers were so upset with me. So I had to start back from scratch because they thought like, okay, they flashed money, you left. So Felicia, now that we've talked about the whole entrepreneur thing, where do you see yourself, let's say in 3 years?
Right. In 3 years, I hope that we have established partnership in every country within the within the world, in every state within the US. I see these in every classroom, in all the schools. It's so far fetching, and I know I can't do this alone, but I know it's not a unattainable vision as well. I want CPR Wrap to be up there with the Johnson and Johnsons, with the Wellies, the Arrows. I mean, all these big Philips, Stryker. I mean, all of these large medical companies. I want people to know CPR Wrap and know exactly what the product is and have it in their homes.
This should also be part of the durable medical equipment DMEs. This should
DMEs.
definitely be when I'm talking to you and I'm having so much ideas right
Mhm.
now to talk to you about. Um, it's just amazing to see that you've created this product. And just do me a favor, don't give up. I'm telling you, I have a lot on my plate, but I know when to say no. And this is something that can save so many lives. And don't give up. There's times when you're like, don't give up, because we have too many millionaires that are in the graveyard that did not, they gave up. Okay, because they said that's, you want to know where the most millionaires are? They're in the graveyard.
Mhm.
Meaning they had $1 million ideas, but they gave up and their dreams died with them.
That's right.
And, you know, I see this. And I'm going to say it. I see this like a Madam C.J. Walker. You know what I'm saying? This is something that you created, and it's just a beautiful product. And again, we want everyone to. Can you give them your website, your email address, contact information? Because here, guys, I can't do it alone. We want this to be everywhere, because if she wins, we all win.
That's
Okay,
right.
how about that?
That's right.
Okay, so if you know someone that this could help, not just them buying it, but it can be in a drugstore, it can be in a pharmacy, it can be, or someone who has the capital to help her take it to the next level. Come on, reach out to her. And if she's going to give you her information. If not, reach out to me. Go on my Women Are Worthy network on YouTube. Go on my Women Are Worthy on Facebook, womenareworthy@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? So, Felicia, come on, let's give out your information. What's your
Right.
handle?
At CPR Wrap, everything on all social platforms. We on Pinterest and TikTok. I mean, we're everywhere. My website is CPRWrap.com. It's the name of the product. Yeah, I mean, everything is so simple. We're on
Your
Walmart.
CPR Rap too?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
On Twitter, your CPR Rap too? CPR
Yes,
Rap? Okay.
on Twitter, CPR Wrap as well. Yes, yeah. But we try to be on all social platforms because we want to really put it out there. We have our own e-commerce platform, which is the CPRWrap.com. We're on Walmart and Amazon e-commerce space. We're not in the brick and mortar yet in Walmart. That costs money. So I mean, that's something that I hope to see in the future. In pharmacies as well. We're scattered in some pharmacies across the U.S. because our product is a FSA, a flex spending account, which I finally got that.
Yes. Good.
Yes. So you
Yes.
can buy these with your flex spending account if they're in places that take them. So we're trying to get connected with more pharmacies.
What's your website again?
It's CPRWrap.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now y'all heard that, right? So, oh my God. See, I'm trying to go to get some stuff done, but girl, you done gave me a whole nother life now to get
Yeah.
this again. So we want people to understand, please, please, please. I posted her links, her IG, her Twitter, everything is CPR Rap. Her website is CPRWrap.com. So please, if you know someone, or if you know someone who's of influence, because right now you need to be, everywhere, even the NFL. Okay, the NFL, what, girl? Oh, we got this. We got this. We're gonna raise a lot of noise. We're gonna raise a lot of
Yes.
noise. So, for those, I'm going to post this interview on LinkedIn as well. And for those of you, please just, share the page, share the page. This is one of the most pivotal and most important interviews that I've done in 2023. And I want this to go down. I want this to be epic. I want this to go viral. Make sure you share this with a friend. Make sure you contact, because again, so what I'm going to do is we're going to be doing, because I had mentioned to the young ladies that we're going to be doing a CPR class. So we already have an instructor, and we're going to see what else we can get the city, county, or someone. We'll figure that out. But again, we want to thank everyone for tuning into the Women Are Worthy Network. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. I'm just so excited for you, what the world, what the future has for you, Miss Jackson. I see so many great things are going to happen because you're intentional. You have a great product. And remember, broke is just a state of mind. You ain't broke. Broke is a state of mind. You just have the money is here because you got to manifest it. The money is there and you're doing the work. The money is there. So whatever you felt, depression and stuff like that, we're going to pull depression off of you, okay? Because you got a product that's worth it. Now, another thing now, when you get all highfalutin and high diddy and in the millionaire mark, make sure you taking time for self-care. You're skiing up the Swiss Alps. You're going to South Africa. You're doing all that stuff. You on your yacht. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
we're going to plead that into you because this is $1 million idea. I kid you not. I'm so excited. I feel like I created it, But again, we want to thank everyone for tuning into the Women Are Worthy Network. Many blessings. Follow us on our page and we'll see when our next show is. Again, Miss Jackson, thank you so very much. I thank you, and I'm so blessed that you decided to come on our platform.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So have a great day, everyone. And again, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy 2023.